3-0. A bit closer than expected. Hawks win 2-1 over the Arizona Coyotes. And my goodness, this game did not need to be as close as it was. So in short, this game was very, very boring. It's just a lot of grown men on the ice just skating and shooting a puck that sometimes was a good shot and even rare was actually in the net. I don't know. I really don't know. It was just not a game I really did not enjoy watching. Not only because the Hawks only won by 1, but just because the game was just generally boring. Like the first period had literally nothing going on. Again, it's like the third straight game where the first period has basically nothing going on. It really puzzled me why ESPN decided to put this game on ESPN Plus. I mean, they did that before the season, but then again, it's like you're projected to be terrible. Why would you want to put this game on ESPN Plus exclusively? So not only is it a bad game that's nationally televised, you can't even watch it on your regional networks. It is exclusively on ESPN Plus, which you have to pay for. And while, yeah, it seems like it's a bad thing, you do get the rest of the games. You really do get the rest of the games out of market that you can just watch whenever when it's on if you have ESPN Plus. But, like, again, the first period really showed it all. Boring. Literally nothing happened. Like the other games, yeah, there were some good saves by the goaltenders, but I mean, like this first period had like nothing. And then early in the second period was probably the most exciting part of the game. Patrick Kane takes it at center ice and moves him past the blue line with no one but Coyotes right surrounding him. He walks right through all of them. I think there were like 4 of them right there. Walks right through all of them, gets a perfect pass to Alex to break it. One-timer, bang, into the net, and the Hawks had the 1-0 lead. Pass got Wedgwood, and that was pretty much the highlight of the game. Pretty boring hockey for the rest of the second period. That was like the only exciting thing for 40 minutes. As we get into the third period, the Coyotes are on a power play, and on that power play, it's about 2 minutes into the game, Andrew Ladd, a former Hawk, literally just takes the puck, just sits there. I don't know what he's doing. He's like fumbling around with it, gets it to the defender. He gets it back, sits there for another second or two, then walks right in and shoots and beats Fleury to tie the game. Andrew Ladd is one of the few players left that are, significant players from the 2010 squad that's still around. Most of them are either retired are just gone. Wow. And I don't know what happened. Like, he had like a couple of years where he was just nothing. And right now he's like one of the only couple Coyotes who can score a goal. Right after this goal, the Hawks go on the power play. And Dominic Kubalik gets a breakaway chance. And he hits the post. Doesn't go in. And they can't score on the power play. And this is one thing I've actually seen some people bring up. Kubalik and Doc have gotten a lot of ice time, yet they really cannot score. And honestly, I can see where they're coming from. Doc has just not had a great season. He's not looked that great, despite us drafting him at 3rd overall. And Kubalik, he had the 30-goal season in 2019-2020. He did all right last season, and he's had a couple of markers so far. But, man, he really... Both of them need to score more often, and Doc especially needs to shoot the puck more often because it seems like he delays so often when he gets a chance, and it's like a 2-on-1 or like a break when he's got another player with him. He doesn't take the shot. He always goes for the extra pass. He's that stereotypical overpasser player. Like, passing's great, but sometimes you just need to take the dang shot. And both of them need to score on breakaways. Both of them have had several breakaway chances this season, and they've not been able to put one home. And this is a situation where we miss someone like Brandon Saad. Brandon Saad was very good at scoring on breakaways like that. With about 10 minutes to go in the game, it's Patrick Kane on the Hawks power play, about halfway through it. And he's at the blue line, and he just kind of comes around the side, and he gets it right into center, and bang in is Dylan Strome. Someone who we've not talked about at all this season, able to get the power play tally, replacing Kirby Dach on the power play as his spot there in like the center. And he's able to get that one in. And you know what? I'm happy for Dylan Strome because he not only did he get the game-winning goal, but it's his first goal of the season, and he's been really cold this year. He had a good season last year, but he's really, especially as the season went on, it was the production went down. Again, Strome was really good when he came to Chicago, but he's just kind of dropped down, and I would not be surprised if he's a player we try to shop. And then the Hawks try to go up by 2, but Scott Wedgwood makes a nice save on Mike Hardman after a puck that gets loose in the crease is fanned down by Kara, and then Hardman throws it right to the pad of Wedgwood. And, well, that was the last notable thing in this game, because even though the Coyotes had a power play and they had the net empty for probably about the final minute and a half, they got nothing. They got nothing. And if that right there just does not show you how bad the Coyotes are, I don't know what does, because they have been terrible this season. And I don't know if they're going to even win 10 games this season. They might challenge the expansion Capitals for worst team in an 82-game schedule. Now, there were talks about the Hawks being that team last year, even though it was a shortened season, still possibly being one of the worst teams in the salary cap era. We were projected to be terrible. And granted, we weren't great, but we weren't as bad as some people made us out to be at the beginning of last season. But I think the Coyotes were that team this year, and they're living up to expectations right now. So overall, just a very boring game that the Hawks won only by 1 goal. And frankly, they should have won by at least 2. It's the Coyotes, and you beat the Predators and the Penguins in your last 2 games at home. Those were overtime wins and overtime and a shootout win. But I mean, this one you won in regulation. That's a step in the right direction. Now we need to get a multiple goal win, because I mean, we can't continue to just win 1-goal games. That's not sustainable. So the Hawks get a nice little break here, and they're on the road for a while now. They have a nice road trip up in the Northwest, starting in Seattle in 5 days. And then they play the Oilers, Canucks, and Flames. So they get the Northwest road trip against the Western Canadian teams and Seattle. Now, that'll take us to roughly about Thanksgiving. So, I mean, it's not really that much early season. We're starting to get closer to mid-season here. We're about a month through the season now. And the Hawks are now 4-9-2. They've cracked 10 points. They've won their last 3 games. They're having a nice little streak going. Let's make it 4 against Seattle. So that's going to do it. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one.